How y'all doing? I'm Joshua Wiley, and I had to do this video. I was watching a good documentary by a friend of mine named Adrian McQueen, and he's the one who he has this YouTube channel, Even at the Doors. And if you haven't watched any of his documentaries, I'm here to tell you, get on YouTube, go to Even at the Doors, and just watch them all, because he makes good quality documentaries based on the Bible and truth. And what I love about it is you can go and you can test it and you can compare. You can go to your history books, you can go to Google. Adrian is definitely spreading a lot of truth. But anyway, I was watching one the other day, and in it, and I'll put the clips on here, he brought up the fact how Obama just recently said that the Spanish Inquisition, when what he say, was run by Christians. He said, well, the Catholic Church and he said the Holy Crusades and the Spanish Inquisition, these were Christians and they killed a lot of people.
Humanity's been grappling with these questions throughout human history. And lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ. In our home country, slavery and Jim Crow all too often was justified in the name of Christ. Humanity's been grappling with these questions throughout human history. And lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ.
And I have a problem with what Obama said right there. And because a whole lot of people in the news clips from different news, of course, they caught him. They like, how is he going to... Because matter of fact, Obama was trying to excuse the actions of ISIS by saying, hey, Christians have killed too. And so a lot of news people in different news channels was like, wow, that was over 1,000 years ago. That was 1,000 years ago. That was 1,000 years ago. But it hit me. Nobody said. I didn't see not one news channel say, hey, the Spanish Inquisition was not Christians. And so this was this. If I know that the Spanish Inquisition was not Christians, first let's look at the meaning of Christians. The meaning of Christian means to be Christ-like, to be a follower of Christ. Now let's get into the history. Now I'm gonna stress that again: a follower of Christ. That means you are Christ-like. You are being like Christ. You are Christian. There are a lot of people in church who really aren't Christian at all, because their actions, their lips might say, I'm a Christian, but their actions say something completely different. Am I a Christian? And see, that's the problem with today. Today we have just a lip service Christianity, and I can't judge anybody else. But if my actions, if I say I'm a Christian with my lips, or everybody has known me as a Christian, but I'm robbing and I'm stealing and I'm killing and I'm raping and I'm pillaging, my actions say I'm not a Christian at all, but I'm actually a follower of the devil. I'm a follower of the enemy. So to say that the Spanish Inquisition, knowing that you have to live it to really be a Christian, you have to live it. Now let's get into the history of it real quick. But the Spanish Inquisition was started by Jesuits. Let's get this clear. As a matter of fact, just to even prove the point, who was his name? Pope Benedict was just still a leader and used to head the Inquisition. The Inquisition really just recently stopped. They were still killing and torturing people by the thousands and hundreds behind the scenes. And it's really just stopped. But we just had a pope who was the leader of the Inquisition. But the Inquisition was started by Jesuits way back. I don't know the exact time period of date, but pretty sure you can Google it. But the Inquisition was brought up to stop and put a halt to real Christianity. If you were really As a matter of fact, the Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition was brought out to stomp out true Christians. If you had a Bible or if you had scriptures, you were tortured and imprisoned by the Inquisition. So let's get this straight. The Spanish Inquisition was killing people who was teaching the Bible. But Obama is telling us that they were Christians. Do you see why I had a problem with this? Because I'm sitting here like, there are stories of many, heartbreaking stories of many true Christian women, children, and men who were killed and tortured by the Spanish Inquisition. Men who were dropped in holes in the ground. They would dig like a funnel shape, circle shape hole in the ground and drop men in there. And that's where these men died, just because they loved Christ and was teaching the Bible. So you're telling me Obama and other affiliates in these news stations, and I know some were just questioning, some of the affiliates and some of the people who were news and questioning, were just questioning the fact that Obama, that the Inquisition was of 1,000 years ago, and Obama tried to say, well, okay, ISIS, they're Muslims, they're beheading people, and like I say, ISIS don't speak for all Muslims either. I know there are Muslim brothers and sisters who are more holy and more righteous than some so-called Christians. So we can't lump them all together either. And just to throw it in there, Obama, our government and the United Nations were the ones who created ISIS. ISIS were nothing. They started as mercenaries, hired guns to come in and create chaos. So we could still have a reason to be over there killing people. But, they hired the guns, they saved up their money, bought more guns and more weapons. Now they're doing their own thing. But anyway, so this is why I had a problem with Obama and many others saying that Obama stating that that the Spanish Inquisition was Christian. Killing people who had a Bible. Christians killing people who taught the Bible. There's something wrong. Now we know, if you're a Christian, there was a war between good and evil, Christ and Satan. So if you have a group of people killing people, that characteristic right there is not of Christ. So it has to be of the enemy. But if you have a group of people killing people for teaching the Bible, then whose side is that group of people on? They're obviously on the side of Satan. So let's get it right. The Spanish Inquisition was not headed by Christians, but children of Satan, as the Bible would call, of the synagogue of Satan. My name is Joshua Wiley, and remember my motto, the motto of my TV show, The Loud Cry, the motto of my YouTube channels, both of them, Lucifer Lies Exposed, and this channel, Joshua Wiley. Remember the motto: the truth loves investigation. The truth loves investigation. Don't just drink the Kool-Aid because it's sweet. It could have cyanide in the bottom. Don't drink the orange juice because it says Tropicana. It can have cyanide in the bottom of it. Do your homework, beloved. Don't believe everything they tell you. Especially now, we're at the end of all days. There's so much evil and wickedness out here, and it's become normal. And it's affecting us all. Anybody that says they're not affected by the evils of our society is blind, don't want to see, or just lying to themselves. Because, beloved, we are all affected by it. We are all affected by it. Why do you think the devil has smartphones and smart watches to where, now these things aren't evil, but the things that you have access to now 24/7 is to keep your mind off of God. It's to keep your mind distracted off of your soul salvation. Beloved, these things we might seem like we're having fun, but if you honestly look at your life, over 99% of us are depressed, saddened, live sorrowful lives. We get these little trinkets, little cars and clothes that bring us momentary pleasure. But beloved, most of us live sorrow-filled lives, aren't really happy at all, keep trying to fill this void that only God can fill. I'm telling you, I'd rather take my chances with heaven and seeing what God has to offer than to live my life like this, we're earth, like we're really having fun. I've done it all. I've partied for months, rented whole 200 acres and having wild, crazy parties and, in the woods and living like, I've done millions and millions of things like it's the world, like, oh, this is awesome. But then reality always sets in when you wake up the next morning. And I see what Solomon said after he had did everything. He said the whole duty of man is to fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Fear God and keep his commandments is the whole duty of man. And is beauty in the commandments. And now a person who's partied and wilded out and thought I had fun all over the world, the things I've seen, the deaths, the heartbreaks, the pain, the sorrow, I now see the beauty in God's commandment and his laws. He has them there because he loves us. And he wants us to live fulfilled, happy lives. Beloved, wake up. Wake up. Time is short. Time is short. They're feeding so many lies. There, so much evil. Everything is coming off as good. I don't have cable, but I forget where I was, and I was looking like, this is cable? Matter of fact, it was a roast. I was at a friend's house, and I was just stopping by to sell him something. I sell electronics now, and he had his roast, the roast of Justin Bieber. Somebody was on Comedy Central, and Snoop Dogg, was Shaq talking to Shaq's wife, and asked her if she sucked DICK. Excuse my, but just. I don't even like saying it even on here while we talk, but this was on regular cable, where our children, my little 10-year-old daughter can sit and flip and watch, and your children, and this is regular TV, and they're talking about sex and things of this nature, just blatant. But this is everyday ordinary things now. Beloved, we are only someone who is willingly blind would say it's not true. It is time to evaluate your soul and evaluate your heart and look at your actions and get close to Jesus now while you can. I'm pleading. That is what I'm doing. It's so easy to be distracted by so many things. So many problems of everyday life can distract you. Your spouse can distract you. Your children can distract you. Video games, TVs, movies, all these things can distract you. But beloved, I'm telling you, soon you won't be able to get right with God. Soon the door to the ark is going to be closed. And just like those who was laughing and joking at Noah because him and his family had been in the ark for 7 days and it hadn't rained, and they laugh and talking junk. I can see them throwing rocks. Look at you in there with all those smelly animals. But then when that first drop of water hit them in their forehead, I guarantee, I know they had a sick feeling beyond sick when it started raining. and the water started coming up, and there was no way they could get into the ark. Beloved, don't wait. Don't wait until it's too late to try and pound on the door and get in. There's nothing in this life worth. I can't imagine how heaven truly is. The whole universe, the galaxies, being able to live forever. Oh, beloved, I can't imagine. Y'all have a blessed one.